what part you use. I said, yeah, I don't know what part you're had questions.
He had a set of questions, so
Well, actually, it started with when I first signed in.
Oh.
Give me a second. Let me see if I can. Oh, great. Monitor stuck to the desktop. Give me a second.
Okay.
Really? No, I didn't do that. Hang on. Oh my God, Jim, with these stupid ancient systems. I inherited Jim's everything. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. Kim, just so you know, Jim Thaler was the original accountant. He was the guy who owned the firm. He passed away from cancer.
Oh, no.
So John Mariano's been one of his, he's been with him for a long time.
For former employees and blah, blah, blah. And all right, so let me show you what I found. And I was like, wait a minute, what the heck's going on here? So I figured, let me reach out to you first to find out what's going on.
Okay.
Not sure how well.
Oh, if you look down, John, if you look down at the bottom of the square here in the Zoom meeting, you see the green box with the arrow that says share screen? If you're using a different, never mind, that won't work.
Hang on, let me, wait, here we go. I got it.
Well, but what that would do is let us see your computer screen, share your.
Well, I didn't go in with the laptop.
Yeah.
I went in with, oh crap. All right.
Yeah,
you know what? All right, I got another idea. That'll work. Can I go out of the Zoom website without causing a problem?
Yeah, you can close it out.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, so then let me go to. Maybe it'll make it a little, yeah, you know what? This will work better. All right, just hang on.
That's why we like Zoom, because we can share screen, and it does make it a lot easier.
Gotcha. All right. Hang tight, because I've got multiple.
Should be Avid virtual assistant.
Right. No. I've got multiple. All right, back to your practice. Yeah, what I'm looking for is because I cheat and I save everything.
We do too.
All right, so that should be my username. Oh, crap.
Usually it's your email.
Okay, then, all right, so then it is, okay, got it.
Please forgive me, I'm brushing my teeth, so I'm going to
No worries. Sign in. Really? You don't like my computer? Great. Hang on.
Oh, it's the two-step thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's which is fine because
Yeah.
that makes it that much easier. All right, so let's see. All right, so you guys are both looking at the screen, right?
Yes.
All right, so let's go. All right, so I'm gonna go here. All right, a little slow, but not bad.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go.
Yeah, when you were using video, and it does slow down the bandwidth a little bit.
And it just bumped me out.
Oh, there it is.
I wonder if it doesn't like the fact that I'm signed in already on the other computer.
Oh, there's a bookkeeping option there, maybe, and you should be.
Nope, that's not what I. All right, so let's. Come on, fingers.
That dashboard's a little new to me because this is your accountant dashboard.
Right,
Yeah.
right. All right,
Although I think it's pretty cool.
so go to clients quick. All right, you know what? Let's do it that way. Go to clients, QuickBooks, Avid Virtual Assistant. Here it is. I'm looking for a very specific screen which says, whoa, wait a minute. which is what prompted the text and the phone call. Okay, there we go. If you look on the right-hand side, Avid Assistance checking, bank balance 5,200, in QuickBooks negative 14,000.
Do you reconcile the books, Kim, monthly with the bank account?
No.
Okay.
I haven't been doing that. I have, oh God, I didn't even think about it. I have been, you know, like importing the transactions and categorizing them and all of that.
Gotcha. Quick question regarding the importing. Considering that every time I've had to do the QuickBooks Online, when it comes to importing the transactions, I have to manually go through every single one of them anyhow. So, I mean, does it make sense to continue importing them versus doing the manual entries? That's my only question.
I don't know. I find it quicker to import them because then all I'm doing is telling it where to categorize it, and a lot of them, because it remembers what I've told it before, a lot of them are already categorized. So I'm just
okay. Gotcha. All right,
so there's just a few like the deposits from the credit card deposits for when I do all the billing to the clients.
Right.
I you know, have to go through and like tell it, you know, break it down by client and how much they paid.
Okay.
That's the only thing that really.
So you split out. So when you get the credit card payment, then you just take that lump sum and you split it out, right? Basically.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that way, at least you can track who paid what and who's got an outstanding balance.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, because what you guys don't want to do is wind up where we are at here after I had to terminate Karen last year. And when I saw the size of the receivable, I said, oh my God. But I think Teresa remembers the conversation with Nancy.
Let me think.
Teresa, you still with it? Oh, there we go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Which conversation was that?
No, remember when I guess you and Nancy had a conversation about Jonathan's balance?
John's balance.
Last year. When you were like, oh my God, the balance is that high?
That he owed you guys, or was something?
Yeah. In other words, that avoids you guys having to do that, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. So I partially understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so basically this makes sense. Now, so my question at this point, according to the bank statement, we got 5,200, but according to QuickBooks, we're negative 14. So I mean,
yeah, I need to look.
Are you missing deposits? Maybe.
I'll have to look and see. I think we were, but I can check it.
Yeah. Now, PayPal Bank, what's?
We must be.
Gotcha. And again, I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble or anything like that.
No.
It's just,
I'm embarrassed because I was like, duh, Kim.
No worries. All right. So from the looks of it, I'm missing a penny of interest in Avid tax savings and $1,000 transfer.
Yeah, like it's been 5 days since I did any updating.
Right. Which is
That's probably why.
So I mean, is it possible you're missing income in the month of January, or is it you're missing income for 2017, or you don't know yet?
I don't know yet. I'll have to look. I'm so.
All right, no problem. By the way, Kim, are you remote from Maryland?
I'm actually in Northern Virginia, right out.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we all work remotely. Everybody in our.
Yeah. No, because there was somebody that was actually in Maryland when I started generating the 1099s. So I was just wanted to make sure that wasn't you, because Teresa, worst case scenario, Maryland Department of Labor can come back and say, that's not independent contractors. That's payroll. But I believe, based on my conversations, that individual does not show up and work on site, correct?
Nope.
Nobody does.
Okay.
Everybody's working from their own home.
Okay.
You start having we just like Vector, they kind of help their 1099s to kind of do their, they offer the service to the 1099s to do their a portion of their stuff for them. This is kind of what we're trying to emulate.
Right, right. And if I remember correctly, based on my original conversation with you, what you're trying to do is basically give them a little bit more hands-on than Rising Stock, correct?
Yes.
All right.
So, I need to explain what that means then, Rising Stock, for Kim, John.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kim, Rising Stock is a company, I believe, out in the Midwest. And what they do is they have monthly calls, and they basically discuss everything about cash flow, not necessarily tax, but cash flow.
Okay.
Who's profitable, where you at, and then they also do stuff with investments as well, as far as retirements and what have you.
They have more to do with profitability coaching, and that's what I do with Coach Patty, Kim.
Right. I knew that you worked with her to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's where the I think it's a $75 charge a month comes in, or something like that.
Right.
But that has nothing to do with taxes. They
Right.
on how to be profitable and how to, care.
Right. It's basically it's more like a monthly pulse check and blood pressure check to see where you're at.
Whereas John's are linked to the government.
Yeah.
Staying compliant with the government in terms of money, because they always want theirs.
Yeah.
They always try to get more if they can. I hate to say it, but that's the truth.
No. And you know what? And guess what? I have no problem going the extra mile for people so that they're not overpaying their taxes. Obviously, as you know, the scenario I give is, I don't know if you guys remember being, Teresa, you may be a little young for this, but I think Kim and I are kind of close in age. The elementary teachers used to have that 3-foot pointer with the rubber tip on the end of it for pointing to the blackboard.
Oh yeah. I can
Okay.
One of those.
Well,
if you with it too.
No, I did not go to Catholic school, thank God. I give the explanation. If you grab it in the middle and you try to bend it, what's going to happen to that stick?
Nothing.
It's going to break, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now you grab the end of it and try to bend it a little bit. What's it going to do?
Still going to
flex.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as you don't try to bend it too far, it's going to flex.
Right.
And basically what I do is I work between the straight line and the curve of the stick, if you know what I'm saying. And what I do is I go after everything. The sad part is, for some reason, a lot of the Vector people think Adam Stock is bookkeeping, and it's not.
It's not.
As you guys have seen.
Oh yeah, I know. And then they and I know that poor Adam, he's tried very hard to educate people, but people just very, especially reps who want to be coached on profitability, even the managers within Vector are very oblivious to that fact. And I have to I have to make sure they understand that, especially if we work with reps. They'll come to us and say, hey, can you do bookkeeping cheaper? I'm like, just going to amount to the same thing as if you just pay a CPA/bookkeeper. You might as well do it together, I can, but then I'll still have to hand it over with a balance sheet, and they're still going to question me, and I'm still going to charge you for the time talking to them. So, you guys are a professional.
Right, yeah. The problem is everybody thinks they're paying for double services when what you guys do, I'm assuming, is along the lines of Adam Stock, where, okay, we can help you with maybe do some time management or something like that, or, whatever the case may be. What I do is I take all that information and I say, okay, yes, this makes sense. Nope, this doesn't make sense. We have to move it over here, that kind of thing.
Right.
What looks good on the snapshot? Because in reality, a tax return is pretty much a snapshot of what happened throughout the year.
Right.
And the backup documentation is the books and records. My main question at the moment, aside from the, balancing QuickBooks versus bank balance, PayPal Bank, is that money that you guys, that people pay PayPal and then you guys sweep into the bank account?
I'm sorry, ask me that again.
The PayPal bank in QuickBooks, 39,692.78. Is that like a running balance of what's sitting in the PayPal account that has not gotten moved into QuickBooks, so to speak?
I think it's just that PayPal bank has not been reconciled. That's why the balance is sitting there. When things have been reconciled, you shouldn't see a balance. The balance should be
Right. So in reality, if you were to basically transfer the money into QuickBooks, I'm assuming that's how you guys do it, right? You receive the payments in PayPal and then swipe the money in and then pay the bills from QuickBooks, right?
no, it goes straight into a bank account.
Yeah.
So,
When I download the transactions from the bank, it shows like, you know, PayPal deposit, because it automatically, or I think we're set up to automatically, right, Carissa, or do we have to manually transfer?
Well, in other words, if you want to transfer in 5,000, you move 5,000 in, kind of thing, right?
so the PayPal's tied to our bank, not to QuickBooks. What we do is that PayPal offers us an app, like a link, so that QuickBooks can talk to PayPal and just kind of check in, and you know, it treats PayPal like a bank, kind of.
Right, yeah, because in reality, it is a true, you can be considered a savings account, a checking account, or a cash account.
Yeah.
Right. We don't leave any money sitting in PayPal. We deposit everything into the bank. So
Okay.
PayPal, being the payer intermediary, basically is the usual way you would expect it to work. The only reason why there is such a large ending balance because we haven't reconciled.
Right. Which is not a big deal. What is the other PayPal bank CAD? What is that?
Canadian.
Oh, okay.
So I'm not too sure. I think that that's the PayPal Canadian division. That's when we pay the Canadians to do work.
Oh, okay. So those are payments per se, not necessarily income.
Correct. That's not income. That's just,
Got it.
That's just
Okay.
what QuickBooks is recording as transactions going in and out of PayPal. That's all.
right.
Okay.
And we had turned off, we initially had PayPal and Square connected to QuickBooks. But it was like a huge mess. Then I was also importing transactions from the bank. So it was like double, it was showing double.
Yeah, you were posting double the deposits.
Yeah, it was a terrible mess. So we turned that off. So now everything just gets inputted, the transactions from the bank. So
All
like
right, so
39,000 is from, if that's like double, if that's from when we, at the beginning of the year last year, when we had PayPal and synced with QuickBooks. Wondering if it's that, but what I would propose is let's get the reconciliation done, and then let's look at it again.
Right. I have a thought, and I need both your guys' input on this thought. Okay, so basically, PayPal is the equivalent of a credit card processing, right?
Yeah.
Yes. No?
Yeah.
So, in other words, you're paying the PayPal fees as opposed to the merchant services fees, right?
Actually, we found a way to circumvent that. There are no fees with PayPal right now.
Nice.
Yeah, we just pay under friends and family, and we don't pay any fees.
Okay.
PayPal is a payer account. We only use it to pay out and occasionally receive funds, but most of the time, anything you see in PayPal, we use it to pay staff for their services.
Right. No, I understand that. No, I'm just thinking because you got a boatload of money sitting in there, so I thought maybe it was doubling up the deposits.
And it might be double deposits from the beginning of last year.
Right. So worst case scenario, you would have to go in there and remove the deposit so you're not doubling your income.
Right.
Because if the PayPal money got paid in and it went directly into the bank account, well, then that means it got picked up on PayPal. And then when you did the import on the bank account, it's basically you're double dipping on the income, and yeah, that's not good.
By right, QuickBooks is supposed to detect the double dipping and match it. By right, and that.
In a perfect world, yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is one of the downsides of QuickBooks Online.
Yeah, I hear you.
You know, and again, you know what? If this works for you for keeping track of what you guys do and how you do it and who gets paid and all of that, I'm all for it.
Yeah, as long as there's only a single transaction that's being yeah, I know what you mean. As long as QuickBooks is able to recognize that single transaction or recognize both as a single transaction and not as a double.
Right. Well, I think what happened was PayPal was pulling in the income, but not sending it over to the bank account because you would have to do that manually, I believe.
No. Again, remember, it's not income, it's outgoing.
Oh, so you're not receiving payments from PayPal?
No, accounts payable only.
Oh, okay.
There was one client who for a while was only paying us through PayPal, but that stopped several.
Yeah, we switched everything to credit card processing or e-checks.
Okay. Got it. Yeah, because you know what? That's an e-check is the equivalent of a paper check, which creates the paper trail. So that's, you know,
good.
That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to figure out, go back and look.
Okay, now, from January through, I believe it was August, is this the same set of books that would also include from September forward?
Yep.
Okay.
I know, it's a little nightmarish, huh?
Well, no, not necessarily. Not necessarily. Because here's the thing. Certain things have to be treated a certain way for sole proprietors as opposed to for corporations. My main goal originally was to avoid Charissa's profits showing up as self-employment tax. If that be the case, you incorporate, you start drawing a salary for what's considered usual and customary for your industry.
Mm-hmm.
That way they can't try to reclassify the pass-through income as additional payroll. No, you've already taken a salary. That's all that matters.
Well,
Guess what? You managed to have an awesome year, so your profits are high. Big deal.
Yeah. And John, just so you know, there's a question with regards to that rabbit hole. Unfortunately, I just totally forgot. Kept saying I would pay my, use the company to pay my own FICA and stuff like that. So how do
Right. Which, you know what? That's fine because we only had a small window. It was only 4 months.
Oh.
So that's not a big deal. But I do want to start you drawing some type of salary this year for 2018.
Got it.
All right. Now, I guess my next question, because we're going to have one set of books that's going to go January through August. And then we're going to have another set of books September through December for 2017. And now for 2018, going forward, that set of books from September till December is going to be a running total going forward. Stupid question, but how hard would it be to maybe change this to Avid Virtual Assistants SP for sole proprietor and then do another set of books, Avid Virtual Assistants Inc.?
We have to pay double. That means I have to open another. They're smart like that. They will make us open it.
Another fee for the, but can't you just shut the other one down?
I don't know. I can call them and ask, or I guess I should. But
well, because here's the thing, and this is really the main reason why I bring this up. As a sole proprietor, you have one type of equity account, which is considered owner's draw and owner's capital, right? For a corporation, you have retained earnings. Well, actually, the sole proprietor includes retained earnings as well, except for the retained earnings get distributed at the end of the year because you're paying the profits on the personal return as opposed to the corporate level.
Mm-hmm.
But the corporation is not subject to the self-employment tax, which is the whole purpose for doing a small payroll.
You want me? So it's easier for tracking purposes to have two sets.
Well, hold on, because there's another piece to this. Now, from the corporate standpoint, you have what's considered shareholder loans, either loans to the company or loans from the company to you, which is that is not an expense item. That is either an asset, a liability, or an equity account.
Okay.
S corporations, the whole purpose of it is at the end of the year, you're not paying taxes on a corporate level, you're paying them on a personal level, and you're not being taxed on additional dividends, which you're paying taxes on dividends to begin with on the profits.
Yeah.
You're paying taxes on the dividends on your personal return for the distribution of profit. The S corporation eliminates that. Now, also, one of the other things, and I don't want this to sound political because it's not, but one of the other things is that there's now a cap, regardless of your other income, there is a cap of 20% on the pass-through profits. So any profits on the pass-through are subject to 20%. You could be in the 38% bracket and still only pay 20% tax on the profits of the S corp.
Well, that's pretty awesome.
So it worked in everybody's favor who is a small business owner that elected an S corporation status.
That's why we're doing this.
Yep. So that was an added bonus. As much as I hate Washington, D.C. at the moment, that is an added bonus that came out of it all. So, yeah, I don't know what it would take. We would have to.
How do we do 2 sets of books without costing us?
Right, without costing you an additional $5.99 or something like that.
Yeah.
Plus the time, plus the time it would take, right, to.
Well, if you were to import everything from September 1.
Oh, I see.
You know what I'm saying? Into the new company, because again, as of September 1st, there is no owner's equity, there is no owner's draw, that kind of thing.
So can we just? There's no way to close these books, but can we?
Right. Yeah. Unfortunately, you'd have to close them and zero out everything as of August 31st to pick up and move forward from the corporate status, from the corporate side.
Can we do it the reverse way, where we transfer January through September?
Kim, what do you think? What's your thoughts on that?
Say that again. I'm sorry. I've got people.
Basically, we got to split out the books somehow.
Right.
And one of them has to carry on. The other one needs to be closed out.
Or removed.
Or removed. So
the problem is now you're going to have an opening balance, which I don't have a problem with an opening balance on the checkbook. Because in reality, that's coming from the shareholder to start the opening balance as of 9/1/17.
Right. I mean, it seems like we should keep the Avid Virtual Assistants Inc. should be the one that stays open, right? And
how hard would it be to delete the transactions? Well, now don't forget, you've got to change a bunch of accounts too. Yeah, in other words, there's no more owner's equity, there's no more owner's draw, there's no more owner's capital.
That can be my project, I guess.
But I still need to capture the income and expenses before you do that.
Income and expenses. Okay, so.
All right. You know what? I got an idea, and I need both your guys' input on this.
Okay.
So reconcile the bank account to August 31st, right?
Okay, and then
from January to August 31st, right? Make sure all of the categories are in their proper place. Run a P&L, save it. Run a transaction register, save it, because that's going to be your backup.
And then a balance sheet.
Well, no, not for the sole proprietor.
Correct.
All right. So that anything that happened between January 1st and August 31st is now captured in the P&L. All of the transactions will show up in the transaction register, and that includes credit card payments and all of that stuff, right? Then what I'm going to need, I can do the opening entries as far as checking account balance as of 9/1 before you write any checks, before you receive any deposits. Follow me? So once that is done from January through August 31st, then you can delete all of those transactions. They all go away. Then we have a starting balance of 9/1. Obviously, the checking account balance, whatever credit card balance was out there, or whatever the case may be, depending on whether you use Teresa, whether you use credit cards or not. to pay things.
Yes.
What do you guys think? Because otherwise we have to run a second set of books, and I'm not a big fan of QuickBooks getting any more money than they already get every year.
Right. So once you've captured everything from January through August 31st, you've got all the reports, the P&L and all that for those months.
Yeah, and as long as you got a general ledger of everything that happened till August 31st, you can technically delete all those transactions.
Yeah, you can just export it as an Excel spreadsheet or CSV file. And
Right,
then
okay.
you have basically you have a static spreadsheet. As long as you have that, if anything happens, we still have a copy, John has a copy, and we can look back. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Right. Yeah, that's a good idea. Then we don't have to open up a second.
Right, and then a monthly fee for the second set of books.
Yeah,
Right.
seriously.
I knew this was going to be a PETA, but, you know, unfortunately, Teresa, you and I had the conversation a little too late in the year, so the only thing we could do was a 9/1.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's
Yeah. No, I'm also looking at something that's going to be the most cost effective to you as well.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that because, you know, we will grow and we want to find the easiest way to, I'm fine doing the initial work with Kim or whatever it makes sense for either of us to do. I know she's quite inundated, so I'll try.
Yeah, I'm freaking out a little bit.
So it'll be a bit of a process, but I know we'll need to do this as soon as possible so that it's easy for you to then just take it forward. But this is more to move forward, right, John? It's not so much for last year, right?
Correct. Yeah, this is how do I get the information I need for 2017 in two separate formats. One is obviously the sole proprietor. The other is actually the corporation.
Right.
And they need to be, they need to stand alone.
Right.
Granted, it's the same company name, but again, you know, certain accounts do not exist in a corporation as opposed to a sole proprietor.
Got it.
Right. I have a question, John. Since we're now incorporated, I've always categorized Carissa's pay as shareholder loan because that's what we were told back at the beginning.
Yeah. It's because I had a talk with Nancy, and that's the old information.
Right. But that's as of 9/1.
What should it be as of 9/1? So everything before that needs to be
Owner's draw or owner's capital or owner's equity. In other words, those three categories, owner's draw, owner's capital, and owner's equity, those three categories are not income, they're not expense.
It's just a draw.
okay.
So as of 9/1, anything that Teresa takes out is now a shareholder loan.
Okay. So I
Right? Now, Teresa, when the stuff you emailed me yesterday, when did you open up the tax account for the sole proprietor?
That's a good question. I don't know that I ever actually opened up.
Okay, because the way I read all of those documents was they're looking for reports, they're looking for payroll, and they're looking for money paid in, which obviously none of that exists because everybody's 1099.
Correct. So I never opened anything. I didn't even talk to the girl.
Right, but those letters tell me that something was opened under the sole proprietor for you. Somehow it happened. I don't know.
Me personally, I don't think that ever actually happened. But this is the control. This is the one, right? You're talking about.
Give me a second. Let me see if I can. Oh, Jonathan woke up. Yay. Sorry.
My husband?
Yeah, he finally sent me an email.
I told him. John is.
Hence the yay,
I have
Jonathan.
harassed him and the guy. Oh. Husband of mine.
There was a reason why every time I send out emails, I include the spouse because I know, and please, I hope nobody gets offended to this, but I know if I can't get the answer or I can't get you to respond to me, your spouse is gonna, whether that's a husband or a wife or whatever.
Right.
Okay. Teresa, unpaid taxes. Nope, that's federal.
Sorry, I'm finally sharing my screen because I'm decent now, and And I made, while I was talking to you guys, I made a flu bomb or a cold bomb, which comprises of smashed clove of garlic, 1 teaspoon of cayenne pepper with a teaspoon of honey.
And you're not dripping in sweat from the burning, from the heat, from the cayenne pepper?
Yeah, so I'm making that face because it looks like
Yeah,
a shot of whiskey.
Like when I saw you sipping before, I said, "Oh, she did one of those things." Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I am not gonna let this stand. I'm doing some kind of remedy. I don't care. Anyway, back to our question.
Okay, is this the state of Maryland? Division of
It
Labor
does say
Licensing.
So, John, if you look at the one that says Comptroller of Maryland Employees Return of Income Tax Withholding.
All right, hang on. That's another one.
So.
Yep. All right, and then let me just get. All right, that's somebody else.
Yeah, John, you can stop sharing your screen, and then we can.
No. It's all good.
Yeah.
All I'm doing is I'm looking at the monitor. That's all. Okay. All right. So. All right. The employer's return of income tax withheld. What they're looking for is a payroll report. For you.
Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna stop sharing our screens.
Oh, sure.
So you can see that. Yeah,
that's January 8th, right? Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, what they're looking for is a payroll report.
Oh, I don't have one.
Right, but no, I understand. But according to this paper, something got opened somewhere.
I hope not. I only did one thing ever. I was poking around.
Maybe that's how this got started, but between the notice of unemployment insurance liability with the effective date of 10/20/17, yes. Between these two documents, they're looking for a payroll. They're looking for a payroll report.
What do I need to do?
You need to tell them that no payroll report exists and that you need to shut down Charissa Tan, sole proprietor, with them.
Oh, okay.
In other words, you've never paid any payroll through that. Everybody is physically working outside the state of Maryland, except for the one employee, so that may be a problem.
So the code here. Excuse me, my husband's calling. Give me 1 second. Maybe you're on speakerphone with John Mariano. I'm in a conference call with John.
I love you.
I love you too. Let me let you go, and John appreciates that you sent him a nice email. So you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me let you go, unless you have something to ask.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye. That was easy.
Excellent. That worked.
So they're both.
Huh?
The notice of unemployment insurance liability does not say if this is actually the Avid Virtual Assistant Inc.
No. This is Charissa Tan.
Oh, otherwise it'll say Avid, right?
Right. Right. Up at the top.
Yeah.
You know, right below that box up top there.
It says that it says our records indicate that we have not received your Maryland employee's return of income tax. No. Even though it's made out to me, the EIN is the Avid EIN.
All right, so then something really happened then, because somehow they took Charissa Tan and attached it to Avid Virtual Assistants.
Don't understand. Maybe I'm just the point of contact. That's why they put my name on it.
Yeah, but that should technically be Avid Virtual Assistants Inc.
Yeah, you're right. Anything from the federal government has always said Avid Virtual, but then Maryland.
Right. But this is Maryland, because don't forget, Maryland is the one that gives you the ability and the right to, and gives the quote unquote corporate blessing.
Oh, jeez. So.
Yeah. So basically, what you're going to have to do at this point, and you're sure the last three are that 307 is the corporate tax ID?
Yeah, I swear to you.
Oh yeah. No. I believe you. I just wanted to make sure. All right. So what you're going to need to do.
I'm going to write this down because this is important. I just ignored it for a long time.
No.
Sorry.
No. That's not.
I'm another one of those reps sometimes because I'm so busy with other things. I'm like, this will solve itself. This will.
Oh my God! No, you got to get out of the vector mentality. No offense.
I'm trying. That's why we're trying to move away from vector too. Once we onboard a couple of more clients, we're going to move to real estate.
Right. No. And that's fine. It's no. There was there was a certain, what's the word I'm looking for? Not mentality, but there was a certain, in other words, the vector mentality was, oh, it'll figure itself out.
So,
Yeah, but the problem is normally when you do that, it's always generating a boatload of penalties and interest.
Right.
Yeah,
It just
because
leads
they
to bigger problems down the road.
Right.
Yeah.
so what is, can you explain to me what is the return of income? I thought that,
That is your payroll tax report. That is what Maryland calls your payroll tax report.
why? Okay, hold on.
That's technically what they're looking for is withholding on your payroll.
So, let me
All right.
dive with you. If I continue to work at my doctor's office and I was one of his employees,
They are filing this report every month
mm-hmm.
with your withholding to the state of Maryland and making the payment.
And the withholding is FICA and all those fun
No,
things.
no. Maryland only, Maryland tax.
Oh, so if it's one or that's federal, so the Maryland tax, whether it's one or two, whatever, they'll.
Right. Yeah. It's from the looks of it, you've got a separate division, kind of like New Jersey. You have a separate division for taxation and a separate division for unemployment.
Jeez. So.
Yeah. All right. So, Teresa, you got a blank piece of paper?
Yeah, I'm writing.
Okay. Let's start from a fresh piece.
Okay. Ready?
All right. So you're going to have to contact the Department of Labor and the Division of Taxation, or Comptroller of Maryland, I guess they call it down there.
Taxation, which is equals the Comptroller of Maryland, Comptroller of MD, which I write all my checks out to. Yeah.
Yep. All your checks made payable to Comptroller for what? The tax payments?
For tax payments in the past.
Okay. All right. So what you're going to need is to let them know that for both of these accounts, everything started on September 1st. That's first and foremost, because Comptroller of Maryland is looking for something from August.
I see what you're saying. Started on September 1st. When you say both of these accounts, you mean the...
Well, you have your unemployment account, and then you have your Division of Revenue account, or taxation, or Comptroller of Maryland, or,
The unemployment account and the taxation account, right?
Yeah, it's all about payroll, but it's two different divisions.
Jeez Louise. Okay. There's the unemployment division, and then there's the sort of the payroll return of income division.
Right, which is basically Maryland income tax.
Okay.
Is what you're paying in on your payroll.
Got it. Jeez,
All right.
Their money.
So first of all, you need to let them know that Charissa Tan is not the entity. It is Avid Virtual Assistance, Inc.
Avid. I don't know even how they made that assumption.
God only knows how they got their information.
Probably.
Now, so once you've spoken to Comptroller of Maryland, let them know that the entity did not start until 9/1, right? And there was no payroll.
Okay. As of 9/1.
And there has been no payroll yet.
There has been no payroll yet. Will they
Now,
ask why, or they?
What's that?
Will they ask why, or they'll just take me at my word?
No, it's just you haven't started paying payroll yet.
Got it.
All right. And the reasoning behind it is because everybody works remotely from outside the borders of Maryland.
Everyone.
And they control their own schedules.
Remote. They do. That they do.
So you've already hit the 5-point test
Thank you,
for
God.
independent contractor versus employee.
So everyone works remotely from beyond
The borders of Maryland.
the borders.
my only concern at this point
Mhm.
is the one employee that has a Maryland address.
There are a couple.
There are actually 3.
Rachel, Luke.
Here there are 3. There's Megan, Rachel, and Susan.
Okay, but according to the 1099s, I only saw one.
Susan and Rachel. There was
Okay, they started in 18, right?
No, Susan started in 17.
But maybe she didn't earn enough to generate a 1099.
She did. I saw the 1099. When Nancy prepared the 1099s for us.
Hang on.
There may have been Megan. Megan probably didn't earn enough.
Well, wait. Don't forget now, it's split out between the 2 different entities.
Oh, so Carissa only had Susan.
Right. Hang on.
Avid had all 3. I know that because I mailed them out yesterday.
Gotcha. All right, so I got Ellen, Mary Jane, Kimberly, Susan,
That's the one.
Jennifer, Sheridan, Rachel. Okay.
That's the one.
All right, so Rachel's got a Maryland address. Susan's got a Maryland address. All right, now that's for Charissa. Now,
Woo, that really stinks. Sorry, I'm like,
no worries. All right, so Susan got paid from both sides on the 1099. Rachel again. And Megan. Yeah. So my biggest concern is, here's the downside. Yes, you may have hit all of the categories for the federal purposes for 1099s versus payroll, right?
mm-hmm.
The problem comes in when the state steps in and says, we don't agree with it. I need to see letterhead. I need to see some type of advertising to prove that they're truly, in fact, in business for themselves. What I'm trying to do is protect you from them coming through and saying, they're not a 1099, they're your employee, you owe us tax money.
Yeah, they will, and I know they will try that.
So.
Can we get a letterhead from them or something? Or
Yeah, a letterhead, a business card, something like that.
we need
Maybe a yellow pages listing or, something.
How do we do that?
Probably not Yellow Pages.
Well, when I say yellow pages, I mean it could be the physical book, it could be online. Sorry, I'm of that age.
Yeah. So something to demonstrate that they very clearly can have their own business, basically.
Right.
Susan and who else?
Just for the 3 girls or what?
Yeah, basically, because what they're going to look for is, aside from the fact that you've got Charissa Tan Charissa, and then Avid Virtual Assistant, now you've got 3 people that are inside the borders of Maryland.
So
Can you tell me those 3 again that had the 1099s for 2017? Susan?
Yeah, give me a second.
Janie?
So it's Susan,
Uh-huh.
Rachel, and Megan. So they need to create something that proves that they're technically in business for themselves.
Wow, okay.
I'm glad we're having this conversation. So you said Susan?
Megan and Rachel.
What about Janie? What about Mary Jane? She earned.
She's in Pennsylvania.
Oh, that's right.
And she's gone anyway, so.
Right.
Yeah, but she wasn't back. We're talking about 2017. So.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Yes, they do have the ability to reclassify 1099s as payroll, but if you can hit certain factors and show them that you've done your homework, they usually back off.
Yep.
Not always guaranteed, but your best offense is a defense.
Yes.
Okay, so letterhead, would letterhead alone suffice? Because I can create that.
Yeah, we can
Um,
go letterheads and business cards. We can go to,
Yeah, I think Vistaprint gives you your first 25 free or something.
but they don't actually need a physical one, right? They just need a scanned copy or some kind of image, right?
Right, yeah. In other words, they sent it to you via email, you attached it, they attached it to an email, you downloaded it, you saved it, here it
We
is.
can create that on Publisher or something.
Yeah, but there needs to be a paper trail that they send it to you.
Yes,
That who sent it to who?
That, let's say,
they sent it to you guys.
yeah, there has to be a paper trail that Susan emailed it to us.
Okay, so we would email her the letterhead and the business card and say, email this back to me, please. And
That's all we need. That's right.
Yeah, do not attach it, do not forward it, no, none of that.
Yeah. And
Yeah, so basically what you're doing is trying to create the electronic paper trail.
paper trail, that's it. And all you do, Kim, is very simple. Go to canva.com. I have a free, it's basically like Publisher, but
Okay.
it's online. You create, you download the PDF or whatever. Then, and you can create 3 cards, download it to your computer, put it into Slack and say, hey, I just need you to email this back to us.
canva.com.
Yeah, and then you log in as Avid Virtual Assistants at Gmail.
Okay.
That's it. It's very simple. Any
Regular Avid login, Avid password.
usual stuff, and I don't think you need a password because it logs in via the Google account.
Gotcha. All right, now rewinding back to the other conversation about the 2 letters. If anybody asks, you are a calendar year taxpayer, and 2017 is a short year. If anybody asks, January through December, and 2017 was a short year. So I don't mean to be a pain in the ass, but there's a very big sense of urgency on capturing Teresa Tan, removing it, and then
Okay, there is urgency.
right, and then September through December, so that I can. Basically, what you don't want is you don't want a short year because your window to file the short year return is very short. No pun intended. Sorry. I got to work on my stand up.
So capture,
Day job, as they say.
so for the Carissa account.
Right. In other words, you got to be able to capture all the transactions, all the income,
Mm-hmm.
and then generate the Excel spreadsheet or whatever to remove it out of the QuickBooks Online.
Generate a P&L, and what else do you need?
So I need the transactions. I need the general ledger. I need the transaction register, and the P&L. And then once that's all captured, then it all gets out of there.
Okay, so P&L, do you want a detailed P&L or do you want a summary P&L?
Summary is fine.
Okay, so
As long as I have the transaction register and the general ledger.
and I believe we can upload that. They'll allow.
Yeah, you should be able to export that out.
I'm just gonna check right now. I'm in there already, so let me just run some. But you know, Kim, let me go ahead and take care of that. You can delete stuff when you get a chance, but at least let's get that captured first.
Okay.
All right, so now, don't forget, any opening balances in the checking account. So in other words, 9/1, say there's $5,000 in a bank account, right? Well, obviously, if you removed all the transaction and all the deposits prior to 9/1, nothing exists. So the opening balance comes out of shareholder loans.
So when we delete everything,
Yeah, so you're gonna have no balance as of 9/1. So in order to not have to double hit the income, the opening checking account balance comes out of shareholder loans, not opening equity. Not opening equity anywhere for anything for no reason whatsoever. Otherwise, no offense, but we have to kill the books and we have to restart.
okay, I don't pretend to know what you just said, but I'm
I have
ready.
no idea what you're talking about.
So after deleting everything prior to 9/1, we need an opening balance for 9/1 onward.
Right.
What should it be?
Right. In other words, whatever was in the checkbook before you wrote out any checks or made any electronic payments or swiped any debit card or anything else, that opening balance has to come out of shareholder loans.
actually makes sense to me.
Okay.
That means I put money in to start the company.
Right.
It's like a capital almost.
Yep. In other words, it's not coming in out of your, not coming in out of sales.
Yeah, so basically when we start an opening balance, it's almost as if me, the shareholder, the one shareholder, put money in there to start.
You loaned the money to App.
Correct. So
Right.
we don't look for the word opening balance because there's actually a default category that is
Opening balance equity, you do
Equity.
not touch that account whatsoever.
do not. So, and a shareholder loan is basically just an expense, right? It's not income.
It's a put and take account.
So is there one? Let me just go and look at my categories really quick. If there's
So Carissa, I'm going to have to do the reconciliations January through August before you can do anything.
Unfortunately, yes. Yeah, because all of that has to get removed out of there.
correct. So you have to do.
I could just kill myself for not doing it. Having
Yeah,
those.
I was thinking you were doing
It just never even occurred to me. I don't know
Yeah, I
why.
know, because you thought maybe it's already downloaded, so it automatically evens itself out by.
Yeah, we'll say that's what it was. No, I don't
Well-
know why. I've been doing accounting for decades. Like, I don't even know why I didn't even think about it.
It happens.
We have a category. Let me just backtrack and just nail that down. We have a shareholder loan category, and the detailed type is loan payable. Is that correct? Want to use that as the opening?
Yeah, it's either an asset, a liability, or equity account.
Yeah, it is. So let me
So
just.
it's either going to have to be an asset or liability. It cannot be an equity account.
Yeah, it's considered a current. It's classified as other current liability.
That's fine. That's perfect.
Great. So that's done.
Now, here's the concept, and Kim will back me on this one for a second, but you can have a positive balance in the liability. You can have a negative balance in the liability. It doesn't matter. The only thing that's going to do is either going to keep it as an other liability, or it's going to turn it into a contra liability, which in reality flips it over to an asset.
Right. Eventually, correct.
Right. The minute it goes negative, it's now an asset.
Correct.
It's not a liability.
Correct.
Now, I did not see any credit cards in here. Is that correct? You're not using credit cards?
Oh yeah, we are.
I see Avid Tax Savings, Avid Assistance Checking.
Let me see here. I don't use credit cards. I use debit cards.
Well, that's okay. Debit cards come directly out of the bank account. Credit cards are a separate,
Yeah, it's just a check card.
Yeah.
I have not opened a credit card. I'm thinking about it. Would you say don't do anything until we figure all this out?
Yeah, let's get everything squared away first.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I didn't. My husband advised me not to do that too because there has to be a budget, and I might.
Budget what? Bouger what?
Oh.
I hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, the only time we ever mention the word credit card is if we charge the client's credit card. So that's actually
Okay.
That's accounts receivable.
Right. Now,
Credit card.
question for you. And actually, this is more, well, it's actually for both of you guys. Not even a question, more of a statement. Do not set the books up for accrual-based accounting.
Okay. So
Cash based.
Cash basis.
Okay, so hold on. Apparently, I know more than I let on.
isn't that how we're already set up?
I don't know. I didn't dig around inside it, but
Let me check. I think isn't that when you run a P&L though? Or
well, here's the things. Accounts receivable and accounts payable.
Yeah, we don't accrue anything. It's
Okay. Well, all right. Receivable, payable, that's all for accrual-based accounting.
Yeah.
Basically, here's your income supposed to be. Yeah, you may have collected only so much of it, but you're still reporting all of the income before you receive it. Why?
No, we don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yes,
We
there's
only, report the income as the income comes in,
Right. So in other words, what I don't want to see is accounts receivable or accounts payable.
Right, we don't do that. We
Okay.
don't qualify for that because we're not a product based, and I just don't think it's.
Well, here's the thing. You don't have to be product based to be considered, accrual. You can be service and still be accrual.
That's true.
You're billing your clients every month, so you're recognizing the income. The minute you hit the accounts receivable report, it recognizes the income.
Correct.
Yeah. See, we don't use QuickBooks to bill anybody.
Thank you.
We don't.
Thank you.
No, we use we have a payroll, not really a payroll, a time tracking
Okay.
called Prima ERP, and we use that to bill our clients. So we don't
invoices
or anything through QuickBooks. We just import from the bank when the deposit is done, and I just I kept figured out who we collected the money from. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, for my own sanity, what Kim's probably saying is that QuickBooks is meant to capture things that actually happen, that transactions actually happen, not potentially happen, and that's what you mean by accrual based, right?
Yes.
Well, that service was rendered, but then we haven't gotten money yet, and then now we're reporting that, and it complicates things.
Right, and the problem with accrual basis is the minute you generate the receivable, it's automatically due and payable.
Yeah, we don't do that.
And so the revenue is already captured in the AR.
Got it.
All right, so that's good. All right, so your guys' mission, and I hate to put pressure on both of you, but you got to get January through August reconciled, generate the general ledger, generate the transaction register, generate the P&L. Once all that's done and you're comfortable with everything that's in there is actually, makes sense, then that all gets removed out of there. The starting balance in the checking accounts and or PayPal accounts or whatever, that comes out of shareholder loans, not opening balance equity whatsoever. I don't know why QuickBooks created it, because it doesn't exist in reality.
Because they're QuickBooks.
Yeah, it's their sledgehammer plug for anybody that they talk into buying the product, whether they know how to use it or not.
Right.
Well, that's the problem, is they cast a very wide net and they catch small fish that die in the net, and it doesn't matter either. So.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. I'm glad you understand that, because most people don't understand. But QuickBooks said, it's kind of like, well, TurboTax said on my tax return.
No.
And I don't know if you guys remember the.
It's just a brand. It's not the actual tissue. It's not Kleenex. The problem is people get Kleenex when it's actually tissue.
Right.
So again, QuickBooks versus actual accounting, that's the same.
Yes, it's a good product.
Yeah, it's a tool. It's a good tool, but.
Right. With anything, though, a little bit of knowledge is always a dangerous thing.
Amen to that.
Right.
So.
I know it's a lot, Kim. If you want, I'll do. I don't know. You tell me to do part of it, and I'll do it, because the recs take the hardest part. It's the longest part. Generating the report. I don't think that takes.
Stupid question.
Hopefully, it won't take that long. It's been probably 5 years since I've done a bank reconciliation in QuickBooks. So it's going to take me a second to remember how to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, I just started the rec for our one bank account. So
I have the one, so that's good. I used to do it for a nonprofit, and there were like 6 different bank accounts. So but it's been a long time.
How do we do if our bank doesn't do the
1 second, guys.
Poor John, he's been on with us, and I really
No, it's not that. It was just I finally got a 1099 from somebody.
Okay.
And he's actually from my hometown where I technically live, that I haven't seen in 2 weeks.
Oh wow.
Urgent. I wanted to catch it as soon as it came in.
Righto.
Sorry about that.
Fine.
All right, so you guys know what you need, what I need?
Yeah, I need to call people. I need to call Department of Labor.
Yes.
And
And unemployment insurance?
I have to speak to both of them because Comptroller has 2 different divisions. I can see that now. They have different phone numbers too, so I'll have to call both phone numbers. I may just have to tell each division about this. Okay, that's my job. And
All right.
between Kim and I, will decide who wants to do the bank recs. She might because.
I have a feeling, oh, thank you. That was where I was going next. So if the bank account has not been reconciled, are you guys sure that what we issued on the 1099s is in fact what they received?
Yeah, I think that's correct. It's just a matter of reconciling within QuickBooks, but
Right.
that's why I didn't use QuickBooks for the 1099s. I used the ledger that we
Okay.
were each pay period.
Okay. Okay.
And how much we paid there. So I feel like that right now is much more accurate than QuickBooks.
Well, here's the problem. QuickBooks is going to have to absolutely positively match the 1099s from Charissa Tan as well. Randy, good to see you. Have a good one. You coming back today or no? Okay. Sorry, guys. So QuickBooks, the 1099s that were issued, pardon the language, but damn well better match the 1099s for Charissa Tan and for Avid Virtual.
Okay.
I really hope that.
Okay.
Where did you get the numbers from, Kim?
The ledger sheets, I think she called them.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the one that I made, right?
yeah, that ledger, everything I paid, when I pay them, I mean, I calculate it there on the ledger, and that's the amount I pay them. So
as long as that equals QuickBooks, it will display correctly in. Excuse me, if that matches PayPal, then it should match in QuickBooks, obviously.
the only thing is I didn't see payroll until when? April, May?
Yeah, because I don't think you were functioning the whole year yet, right? I think
Right.
you're just getting up and running, Charissa.
Yeah.
So it's that first few months of the year that we're like, and I had gone back through PayPal, through Venmo, because for a while we paid some people through Venmo. So I went back through those apps and found where we paid people.
Okay, so those are good numbers, though.
And I plugged that info into the ledger, but not into QuickBooks. So that's where we're going to have probably a freaking mess.
Well, I think that's why you have the. Hang on, let me get back to it. I think that's why you have that high balance in PayPal.
Correct.
Because you've sent money over to PayPal to pay the people, but you haven't actually paid them yet.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things.
Yeah. So
Yeah, you've got 39,000 and change in what's hanging out in PayPal, which means the payments have not been posted.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Okay. Shit, I'm gonna have to take like an entire day to devote to this, and I don't know where I'm gonna.
I'm just gonna listen.
Clients.
I'll just do it. I'll just do it. Let me handle the recs. I just have to do it. I think I have a little bit more time than you do. So.
All right. If I didn't, one of the assistants that works under me, John is on maternity leave. She just had a baby.
Oh boy. Okay.
Early Monday morning. So this week I'm just like trying to get other people in and pulled in and you do this stuff now.
Gotcha.
Because
bear with me 1 second, guys.
Yeah. So I just downloaded the transaction ledger. This is the
Yes, this is the hi David, how you doing?
affiliation.
I can't hear you because I keep over John.
I'm gonna mute for a second. I love being able to mute people. So
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
just so you know, I'm sharing my screen. This is the ledger I downloaded from clicking this right here.
Wait, hang on a second. I gotta move.
Go to books.
Chart of accounts. Okay.
Ready? So have you been in the bank register before?
I haven't really done anything in there, no.
Okay, so I'm going to show you something. This is just a tour really quick.
I just go, yeah, I go here and I hit update.
Yep, and that's where you do your stuff.
And that's where I do my stuff. Mhm.
Right, your stuff is categorizing. But if you want to see where the stuff actually goes, the real ledger, the transaction register, you go to register.
Okay.
This is the real books. This books right here.
Mhm.
This is the stuff that goes to the account.
Okay.
This is in its simplest form. If we had an actual book, this is how it would look.
Right.
And then you just hit that little button and you can download it and it becomes like this.
Okay.
So what happens is when you reconcile, you hit this button here, and that's where you know what to do, obviously, you know. And maybe we can do alternate reconciliations. Like 1 month, we do the other. Depends on who's got the time to do what. Maybe you and I can work closer together, you know. So I am very grateful because I went through literally yonks of hours with Lindsay on this stuff. I taught her all this.
Right.
So
Hit yes. Oh. You should have clicked the yes, I trust this computer button.
you know why? It's for you and John. So
Bounce back over to, oh, I'm sorry, guys. Can you bounce back over to QuickBooks again for a second?
sure, that's me.
Okay, see the 1-517? Opening balance equity?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that needs to change.
Okay, so this is from January though. So you want me to change it to
Right, but that's your opening deposit, correct?
correct?
No, that's owner's equity, not shareholder loan.
Okay, I'll just create an
Or you know what? No, not sorry. Hang on.
This is from January.
Owner's capital. That's your opening deposit on the checking account, right?
Yeah. Is that okay?
Yep. All right, and you want it as, pull the drop down there. You want that as in, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. There's capital, blah, blah, blah. That doesn't work. That's fine.
Yeah, we can always fix that later too.
Yeah, if need be. And this is, nope, no. Teresa's money. That's fine.
Can I put personal money?
Yeah, you can do that.
Personal
Doors.
money loan
Yep.
to business.
Right.
That'll help explain it a little bit, and that'll be.
Okay. And then save. Yep.
Oh, really? Did I reconcile this already? Cool.
All right. Good. All right. Now, can I drive for a second or no?
Yeah. Hold on. I'll have to give you. Whoops. I'm gonna give the mouse and keyboard so you can start clicking on stuff. Just start. If you click your mouse, it'll start the.
Okay.
Driving.
All right. So. All right. It's not.
Oh, do you have a scroller or?
All right. So it's
scroll
page down. There we go. Web service. That's fine. All right. Why is this not? Oh my goodness. Really? All right. So.
Try using 2 fingers on your laptop by dragging the fingers up and down on your mouse pad.
All right, so let's try, So let's go here. Really?
Yeah. What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to be able to use, all right, cancel.
Because you're on
Right.
a PC and you're trying to remote into my Mac.
Oh, you're on a Mac, aren't you?
Yes. So
Okay. All right. So, do me a favor. Just scroll down. Go page down, I guess. Keep going. What I'm doing is I'm just scanning real quick to see anything. What is that? Primera Services, something or other?
Prima ERP, that's our time.
Okay, got it. Okay. Can you change that to payroll processing instead of web services?
But we don't want to use the word payroll, right?
Yeah, you know what? Because the problem is technically Zoom is what's considered a computer expense, where Prima would be more of damn it.
I mean, it's just a software.
Right. You know what? Yeah. You know what? Never mind. Leave it. Okay. All right. Contracted services. Good. What's services? Venmo out. Tiffany Tyler.
Services is just payment for it's income, services income.
Oh, that's income. I'm sorry. The three little. Got it.
Yeah.
All right. Sprint. If you can change that to telephone.
Where did it? Oh, here it is. Utilities. So you want it changed to telephone?
Yeah. It's a separate line item.
Probably have to add it. I don't think we have it in there.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to accounting really quick, and I'm gonna reconcile later. So.
Here we go. Chart of accounts. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let me just see what we have here. I kept it. We try to keep it short and simple. So
Right.
Utilities. I don't think we had phone. Yeah, we got rid of phone. So we had.
All right. So, you just dumped everything in your utilities?
Yeah, let me run that report really quick to see what's in there. I can't remember. Come on, it's already my computer.
No, the problem is you're doing that and you're sharing it to everybody all at the same time.
Correct. Yeah, it's just Sprint.
Okay.
Wait a
You know
minute.
what?
That's it? Where did the rest of the Sprint stuff go?
Yeah. January through.
That's weird because that's where.
Oh, you know why? Since 90 days normally. So.
Oh.
Last year. Actually, I'm gonna run all.
There we go.
I can just.
Yeah.
The utilities only has Sprint in it. I can just change it.
No. You know what? No, leave that go.
Okay. So you want me to go back to the chart of account of the banking?
All right.
So, just so you know, Arch Telecom is our auto dialer. We use that to. It's kind of it's COGS. Basically, it's cost of goods sold, but we just put it under web services.
Okay. Just be careful of the do not contact list.
Yeah.
It filters those numbers out automatically. That's part of
Okay. Good.
the function of the software.
Yeah,
Then it's worth every penny that they charge you.
Yeah, it is. Texting base is also COGS. It's basically we subscribe to a texting service, and then clients can come to us for the service, and we mark it up.
Okay. Question. Go back up. Well, actually, can you go back down just a whoop? Nope. Too far. And right there, hold it. Okay, you deposited money, but you took it against travel. Why?
I don't know what I did here, actually.
That's a deposit?
That's a deposit that Carissa, that you paid back. I think it was it you and John went together or something, and that was, you charged the whole thing out of Abbott, and then that was his part he was putting back in, or
Okay, that's the only one that ever happened.
or something.
I accidentally withdrew money thinking that it was my personal account, but it was actually my business account.
Okay, all right, so
What do you want me to call this?
you don't want that as travel because that's reducing your travel expenses.
Okay, yeah. So
That's owner's capital?
okay. I'll draw by owner's capital. see the.
Yep.
Wait, hold on.
Yep. No, you don't want to be using AR. That's fine. Yep, we're good. Now save that. All right. Okay, so services, that's your income category you're calling services, right?
Correct, and that's the only one.
Okay. All right. So you would have just canceled out that travel payment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, how come there's the credit card here? Oh.
Because that's who you paid.
Oh, one pay. So I paid back in. Got it. So what do I do here?
That's fine. Because that payment is for your travel expenses, correct?
Correct.
And that was travel for.
Can't remember at this point.
Wasn't it Big Ten Summit? It was January last year.
Oh, yeah. Yes, oh. There he goes. I'm gonna stop sharing my video so that this will work a little better.
No.
No?
Nope.
That's good enough right there.
Big Pin Summit costs, plural. Yep. Save, not just save and new. That's all right.
Go. So it won't show up here, but it'll show up inside.
Yeah, because here's the problem with QuickBooks Online.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot eliminate transactions
Yeah, you can.
like you can do with the regular QuickBooks and the older platform that we use around here.
Yeah, I have the manual platform too. So
Okay.
you can, if it's in the ledger, you can hit delete. But if it's not in the ledger, if it's not in the transaction register, and it's in the online portion of it, you have to exclude it and then delete it.
Oh, by the way,
Mm-hmm.
you may have deleted the transaction, but there's still a history of that transaction. One of the reasons why Jim hated QuickBooks so much.
It'll still show up.
The federal government has the ability to drill into your QuickBooks and see everything that happened, regardless of what was deleted or what was changed or anything.
Oh shit.
Yes.
So when it goes in, we have to be careful, basically.
So right. Is there a different software that you all recommend?
No, QuickBooks is fine because it's user friendly. It's interchangeable between platforms. The only difference is I can't take the QuickBooks Online and move it over to
Yeah, correct.
my QuickBooks desktop.
It's not reversible. Drives me crazy.
So it doesn't matter what software you're using, the feds can still.
Yes, because basically what happened was that each company, that is 123.17. That is owner's draw, not shareholder loan.
I'm just gonna go and change
Change all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's where we were told to put all of her paychecks.
At that point.
Shareholder's loan.
Yeah, but yeah. So all you want to do is just rename the account. You don't have to change it. Just rename the account. Go back to chart of accounts.
Right, it's right here, correct. Well, I already have an owner's pay. I get what you mean. We already have one.
Well, yeah, but we already have. Go to all this for a second. Oh no, sorry.
That's okay. I'm gonna get draw by owner. This is wrong. This needs to be redistributed.
Right, that should not be accounts receivable.
Yeah, we never. What the heck is all this? Oh shit. But lucky. Okay, we'll just.
I don't. What is that?
All right, Charissa. Now you understand where I said you have to go through everything.
Yep, that's it. Okay, so we need to also go through.
I don't understand how all those transactions got in there.
it was probably matched a certain way at the beginning when I very stupidly decided, oh, let's link Square to QuickBooks.
Whoops.
And then Square just tried to be smart and did that, and that did not work. So
And some of those were like October, which I thought we had.
we didn't. I can't.
Maybe it was before we decided that was a mistake.
Yeah, I linked it in November, I think.
Yeah.
Very shortly after. Okay, so there's the shareholder, the real one. We also have owners' capitals.
Right. Well, don't forget, you're going to be using the owner's capital and the owner's draw. Do me a favor. Can you view the register? All right. Let's hang tight for a second. Down a little bit more.
Can we just pick one?
I'll go opening balance equity and run report or view register or whatever that is. Sorry. There's the 3 pictures there. All right. So this needs to get changed. That transaction itself, or both of them actually. Sorry.
Can't type.
All right, there's one.
At least I know what I'm talking about, or at least I know what you. I know what you're talking about, so I can talk the same.
All right, what's the date on that? That's 8/31. So yeah, that's owner's capital. Okay.
Remember, I was trying to open a Navy Federal account. They opened a personal one for me.
Right.
There's $1,000 sitting in Navy Federal, but in a personal account.
All right. So basically, you guys understand the gist of it at this point.
Yep.
So
And I'm kind of glad we got. Wait, what's that? Uncategorized asset. What's that? 2,000 or negative 2,000?
Funds transfer. Oh.
Oh, that was, remember we borrowed 2,000 out of the tax savings account, put it in
Right.
account for payroll, and then I put it back when we collected the money from.
It should.
All right. The deposit that came in, where did you take it from?
Tax.
We transferred. It was just a transfer.
No, I understand that, but when you put the deposit into the account, where did you code that against?
The deposit, it would have gone into services because it was when we, oh, you mean when I transferred the money from the tax savings account into
Yes.
the bank account, the
Right.
checking account?
Right. So in other words, where did that deposit come from?
I don't know. I'll
Came
have
from
to
owner's draw.
go back and look for it because I don't remember.
Right.
That was 4 months ago.
No, I understand.
It should be owner's draw. It's really, so the actual trail was, we transferred it to another USAA account, which was called Avid Tax Savings.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, this was.
Well, Charissa, when you opened that account, what tax ID number did you use? Your social or Avid's tax ID number?
Social.
Okay. So that is not Avid Tax Savings because Avid Tax Savings is Charissa Tan's account, not Avid's bank account.
Got it, but in this period of time, it was January. Was it January?
Oh, I thought that was a December transaction. I apologize.
No, it was November when we took the money out of Avid.
Yes, November 16th. So,
And then it was December when I put it back in.
All right, so that is a deposit. The deposit that came into Avid's bank account comes from shareholder loans because Avid Tax Savings is not an asset of Avid.
Got it.
So it came in as a shareholder loan and it went back out as a shareholder loan. Make sure those two tie each other out.
Got it.
So now you want to take a look and find that deposit.
And then tie it in, correct. So that it just negatives each other out, right?
Right. Yes. Mm-hmm. Probably back a little bit more.
Boom. Oh wait, that was.
That's the payment back out. The 2,000, if that's the one. So the payment out went in.
I just had to do a search. I think it might be this one.
So the money came in on the 16th of November or the other date? I just saw the transaction. Can you go back to where you just were or no? All right, so you either got a deposit on the 16th of November or is that the one?
Yep.
All right, so that comes in as a shareholder's loan. That's good. And then the payment went back out to shareholder loan, right?
I'm about to change it. The problem is then it's an expense category, which is fine, right?
No, it should be a liability.
Yeah, it is a liability.
Okay. And that happened in November, right? Or December?
December 26th.
Okay. That will save time later.
Okay. And it just saves the right trail, I think, too. I'm just going to check in the actual tax account to make sure.
Shareholder loan, shareholder loan. So you got two deposits in there.
Yeah, this is the
And
one.
that's a savings account, right?
Yeah.
All right, here's the problem. That's not an asset of Avid Virtual Assistants, Inc.
So we need to delete this then, this tax savings thing.
Right, or you need to open up a savings account and use the tax ID number from Avid.
Yeah, that's why we're trying. I should be getting my Navy Federal thingy. So for now, what do we do with this?
All right, so if that was opened
Mm-hmm.
with your social,
Mm-hmm.
what do we got? January, can you scroll down just a little bit? I was looking at the dates. Yeah, you know what? That's all in the corporation. You can just delete that account for now.
Okay.
If you have the ability.
I can unlink it, so.
Was it unlink it or delete it?
I think you unlink it, then delete it. So I don't reconcile basically the tax. Is that okay?
God damn it, QuickBooks!
I
I
was
hate
just
you.
gonna say, I don't think you can delete it if there's a balance in there.
What you have to do is delete the transactions inside the account first.
Okay, done. That's just, this is all there is. It's just 24 transactions, so.
Right, but wait.
We gotta not delete it, but move.
Well, oh, hold on. Is there a way to move those three pictures on my side?
Oh yeah,
You can drop them.
you can
Minimize them by pressing the little line button.
yeah. And you
Oh,
can
the three dots?
you can drag that little. You can drag.
Oh, I think I found it. Got it. All right, and I have. Come on, baby. Because that was blocking everything. Like,
Yeah, totally annoying.
yeah. All right, now let me see if I can. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can look at this. Will this allow me? No, it won't. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna look at her screen, you have to have.
Right, and it wouldn't allow me to scroll it. No, my concern was, all right, so we've got earned interest.
I mean, the thing really doesn't, I don't do anything in there except put money in and take money out.
Right, but hang on a sec. I want to make sure that, see, you paid $19. What's that? 8-1. Comptroller of Maryland, $19?
I have no idea.
Right? Was that an incorporation fee or something?
No. I'm just gonna check really quick. No, that's not it. Try here. What? Come on, Google. And my computer is not very happy with me right now.
Well, you've got like 50,000 tabs open.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I mean, I know it's a Mac and all, but
I think she actually found max limits. I didn't
Yeah.
think that was possible.
she broke.
I found everybody's limit. Seriously. Okay, there we go. I do not know where that 19 came from. I must have used it to pay like a check or something.
No, but I'm not concerned about where the 19 came from. It's what were you paying?
I have no idea.
Jeez.
It says Control of Maryland Direct Debit, RAD. I don't know what RAD means.
Welcome. I hate to say it this way, but I don't have any other choice.
Yep.
Welcome to the direct uploads from banks.
I know. You told me already.
Again, I'm not trying to.
Revenue Administration Division. That's what RAD was.
Do you think it was like income tax or
Well, it's Revenue Administration, so I
that you
don't.
were paying in advance, or
It must have been some kind of tax payment.
it was in August? That's why I thought maybe it had something to do with incorporating and.
Maybe.
Hang on one second. God bless you.
I'm going to bathroom for a while.
Oh, by the way, Charissa, just to let you know, if Nancy ever asks, we did not have this virtual meeting today. And I'm pretty sure you understand why I say that.
I think she had to step to the bathroom real quick.
Okay, that $19 is a shareholder loan payment. Or all right, actually, I need to step away for a minute as well. I will be
Okay.
right back.
All right. Hey, John.
Oops. Okay.
He had to step away too, but I didn't catch him fast enough to tell him he could mute himself and turn off his video.
It must be some kind of tax. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, he said put it in shareholders loan.
Oh, I know what that is.
What?
What was the date of that transaction?
I know exactly what that is.
Yeah, you paid your personal tax bill.
That is where I paid my personal tax bill from. You said that at that point, I think it was like 2016 maybe, or it was.
Yeah, it was 2016. There was a $19 payment due to Maryland.
Exactly. So I paid.
So that is not an expense to Charissa Tan, virtual assistant.
No, this is our personal.
Right.
So I
So,
still get rid of it.
and that's 8-1, right? So that
Yep.
so you gotta change that transactions to owner's draw.
Capital, draw.
Oh, Charissa, what I was saying earlier,
Ah,
I think you had stepped away.
yeah.
If Nancy, wait, no, don't change, no, hold on, escape that, cancel. All right, so instead of taxes and licenses, that's either owner's capital or owner's draw. It doesn't matter which one.
Oh, that's right.
Can we just agree to pick pick one and it always be owner's capital?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. And that's where I'm supposed to put her paychecks from now on too?
Well, no. That is anything she pulled out of the bank account. Right. Okay. Owner's capital. That's fine.
Any of these taxes and licenses?
Right. Well, hold on. Hold on. That account is used for anything that happened, that money paid out that she took, that is not an expense to the company.
Okay, so
Gotcha. And I'll be right back again.
money spent that is not expense to company. Okay. So personal.
So half the battle is one. You need to make sure all these are classified correctly, which is what he's doing. He's just double checking.
Oh, please do. I kind of wish.
Oh, Teresa, before I forget, this virtual chat today did not exist if you ever speak to Nancy.
Yes, sir.
Because she will have my head for not charging you by the hour for this.
I know. And she's trying to keep you guys profitable, and I appreciate you.
Yeah, but guess what? There's a difference between keeping profitable and you know, it's not like you are taking advantage of my good nature, if you know what I'm saying.
We're learning, and we're trying to be compliant.
Right, and this is the learning phase, because guess what? We don't have to have this type of conversation again going forward, because you both of you guys understand where I'm coming from and why.
Right.
And she doesn't understand that this is not an ongoing every month or every week or every day kind of thing. This is what you guys needed, and either you have to pay me to do it, or I have to coach you guys into this is what I need done.
Right. You're trying to make your job easier too.
Right, and guess what? This, for me, this is what I consider paying it forward, or saving time downstream. Pick one, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
she doesn't understand that.
Yeah.
Because she's all about right now, right here, I need the money immediately. And I'm like, lady,
time is
doesn't
money, and I
work
get
that way.
But and I love you for that, John. So here's a question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it more productive for you to just go in there now that you've seen how I do it and you know how to maneuver? You prefer to just check it yourself since you have access to our thing, or would you prefer to continue doing this with us right now?
Oh, no, that's fine. We can continue doing this.
Great. I have a half an hour before I meet with my coach, so I think we'll
Okay.
have plenty of time, right?
Yep. All right, so let's.
Kim's going, just so you know, Kim's going to be half paying attention because she's also managing staff in the background. So she might.
Yeah. I've kind of been doing that. I'm kind of like overseeing a lot of
operations
today, and
All right.
All right. Now, so my question at this point, do you have the ability to delete all these transactions?
Yeah, of course. It's very
But it's
simple. Click on that, hit delete. That's it.
But then it goes. Then something happens with that money, though. It sits somewhere in QuickBooks.
No, it doesn't. It does not. If you delete all these transactions, it gets recorded that it was deleted, but it doesn't show up on the P&L, and I know that because I've done this before.
Okay.
So yeah, so if you delete all these transactions, then you can delete the bank account.
Yes, exactly.
But you can't do it before deleting the transactions. Otherwise, that's when it's going to move stuff around inside.
Correct.
Okay.
Can I just do it now?
Nothing ever
Yes.
really got deleted. You know what I mean?
Right. No, I understand.
I'm good, right? I'll delete.
Yep.
That's just very quick, it's just like that. And I wish I could select all, but it doesn't give you that option, and I know it's on purpose. They make it hard for you to delete stuff because
Yeah, they don't want anybody going in and doing what we're doing.
yeah, unless you really actually want to do it. So.
Or you know what you're doing and why.
Exactly. And with John here piloting, I'm confident I can do it because he understands the nuances of how numbers are.
Whoa. Hold on. 3420, what was that? Was that the two estimated tax payments?
Yeah.
All right, what was the date on that transaction?
I don't know, but I can go back to, it was deleted already, but I can go back to USA and check.
So in other words, oh, wait a minute. You know what?
Hmm?
Hang on. Hang on. Never mind. Never mind. I thought that was the estimated tax payment, but that was not. That was the federal bill, the federal balance due.
Okay. And does it even matter since we're getting rid of the whole thing?
No, but I just needed to know. I was hoping that would have been your estimated tax payment.
Oh,
I
the one
asked
that,
about.
yeah, the one that we had talked about that I said I would get back to.
Right. I was hoping that would have been the one, but no, that was the tax bill due for 2016.
I mean, we would have only paid it out of a couple of places. I never used my credit card for tax payments. I do have credit cards, but they're personal. I never use them.
Right. Yeah. No, you don't want to be paying a credit card, paying taxes through a credit card because there's an additional fee on that.
Yeah.
All right. Now you should be able to go to the chart of accounts.
Give me a sec. I'm just gonna go here and delete all this stuff. So when you delete all those ledger, all those transactions in the ledger, it comes back here.
Right.
And what you do is you check all of them off, and then you use exclude. That goes into
Okay.
excluded category, and from there you can actually delete it.
Right. Now,
Okay.
It's a two-step process, but nah, I mean it's 24 and whatever.
Like 3 steps.
that's to avoid anything happening accidentally.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Transactions will not be recoverable. Which,
Just make sure you don't have anything extra in there.
no, this was auto-downloaded from it was an online download, so it should be.
Right, but those were all tied to that particular account, correct?
Yeah,
Right.
this is the funds transfer.
Well, because here's the thing: if any of that money was transferred over into your operating account,
Yeah.
now you have to redo that entry. Do you follow me?
Yeah, just any transfers, right? Like these ones or yeah. So yeah, funds transfer like this one. So we need to go poke around first to make sure those are changed. So let me just write that down really quick.
So yeah. So in other words, if you took money out of that account and put it into your operating account, you're gonna have to redo that deposit.
Correct. As a deposit, not as a I know.
Right, into the other account, not into this. Not yeah.
Yeah, correct. So I have to look at the other account first
Mm-hmm.
and then change it.
Well, no. The concept being is that you just have to repost that deposit in the other account, because if you eliminate them here,
Mm-hmm. It might disappear from the other side. Got it.
well, no. If you eliminate deleting them, they're still going to be hanging out inside that account.
Oh yeah, they should. And then they will be unclassified because.
Which is fine.
Mhm.
Because then all you got to do is go in there, and anything that's unclassified.
I'm just gonna go right now. It's already classified. I think, yeah, this one is classified. In, out, in.
Meaning, I guess my question is, did you ever take any money from the savings account and put it into the checking account? And then take it from the checking account and put it back into the savings account?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was that $2,000 that you saw.
All right, so worst case scenario, you're going to have an unclassified payment and an unclassified deposit.
So we can just put, where should we put, like, because sometimes I see, but maybe I won't if we unlink. We're going to unlink the tax savings account from QuickBooks. Then I shouldn't see it. Never mind.
Well, yeah, but you got to delete the transactions first.
Yeah, this is the one. So this is what we call owner's capital. Anytime there's a funds transfer, it's owner's capital.
Okay.
Until 8/31.
Correct. Or 9/1.
Well, no. 9/1 to December 31st is all shareholder loans.
Got it. So this one leave alone.
Yep.
I will check that really
Yep, that's good. No, you're good.
That one was good. That was owner's capital. Leave that one alone. This one is
What's the date?
into the check.
Yep, you're good.
Yep.
That's a shareholder loan into your bank account.
Good too, because that is the 26th of December. And the last one is January. So this was a okay, right.
So Carissa's paychecks prior September 1st go to owner's capital?
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
If it's my social, owner's capital. If it's Avid's EIN, shareholder's loan. Because then I become a shareholder.
Right. Okay.
Done. Okay, these ones are all done. They won't it'll be fine. Now I can go back and actually delete crap. It's a couple of step process, but I feel better.
Yeah.
Bye. It's gone.
What? I'm sorry. I apologize. I was watching what you were doing. I said, okay, what you're doing is good, blah, blah, blah. But I was after one piece of information.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay.
Just disconnect.
Then all done. I'm going to accounting and deleting it. It's 0 now, so I mean it's a very small one.
Group LLC,
Bye.
WTF.
Okay, done. Okay, so that's one less thing to do now.
Yay.
Okay, got it.
Enough. I want to kick Gonzalo in the bonnet because I'm still using them.
So is Justin Kim. So is JB.
Justin Beef is
This was payments or receipts from?
receivable.
Okay.
We're trying to change them from Venmo to credit card or e-check, but some of these banks are very so we have to charge them by Venmo. Otherwise, I mean they're small amounts, but still, you know.
Yeah, JPB. Oh, hold on. JPB Gons and Justin Kim are the last holdouts that will not. I have nagged them and resent the.
What do you need from them?
I need them to give us either their credit card info for me to process their payments, or their checking account info so I can do
Do a direct that right.
And they will not sign the paperwork. So I'm forced to continue billing them through Venmo.
All right.
Me off, but they're.
I forgot who it was I had a conversation with the other day, but you can set up those payments inside the bank account to reflect who got paid. In other words, you can do Venmo Justin Kim, Venmo whatever.
Oh, it's not even that.
It's not that. It's that we don't want to use Venmo anymore.
Remember?
Oh, okay.
Part of the reason is security. Venmo, I've heard, is easily hacked, and we're trying to stay more compliant to the government.
Got it.
And
Yeah, actually, I just read not long ago that Venmo is the most hacked cash transfer app out there.
Is it because of the phones or is it something else?
it's because
I don't.
their securities, their online security.
It's just not up to par. It's not up there like where PayPal is, you know.
Gotcha. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but
That's not travel.
it is extremely hard to get information from Venmo unless you're going directly into the Venmo account.
It is hard. Chris,
And then from there, what you have to do is you have to cross-reference your memory with the transactions. Say, okay, who was it?
yeah, it sucks. It totally sucks. I can figure out who it is because I can look and see, okay, go by the amount and see who I billed that amount, but it's a pain in the butt.
Right, but here's the other problem. Now you have 3 different people you've billed the same amount. Which one paid?
That almost never happens.
So
Okay.
what we do to prevent that from happening, John, is that we transfer the minute I'm always on the alert. I get an alert when my Venmo account's been paid.
Okay.
The minute I see that, I quickly transfer the same amount back straight into the bank. So whatever goes into Venmo is the same amount goes straight into the bank.
Okay.
So that it's easy for Kim to keep track. That's the only way to keep track of, instead of having to split the payments, when we transfer a whole amount, like credit card, like credit
Right.
card transfer 3 or 4 people worth of payments. We try to avoid that by transferring them straight in.
And then I look in the Venmo account and see who paid it, and then
Okay.
And then you can then put who the payer is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's worked out very well.
Carissa, that seafood thing, that
was meals and entertainment.
that was in Austin. That's why I put it under travel.
No.
Okay.
All right.
I know what you're talking about.
All right. Travel is going to be airlines. It's going to be hotels.
Food.
Ground transportation.
Hold on. Let me get there. All right. That's going to be your travel. Airlines, hotels, that kind of thing. Food, whether you're local or abroad, is going to be meals and entertainment.
Really?
Taxis,
So,
Uber, Venmo. Sorry, not Venmo. Taxis, Uber, Lyft,
Right.
car service, whatever. That's going to be local transportation.
Oh, we don't even have an account set up for that.
hold on, pause. I'm gonna start my again. Okay, we're talking about travel. So if I go to Austin and I take an Uber from the airport to the hotel, what is that called?
Local transportation.
Under travel?
No.
Are you
Local
serious?
transportation stands on its own.
Oh, you're kidding.
I've been putting all of that under travel.
Yeah, because that's what we were taught to do long time ago. That's what I did for John. John told me, yeah, we can get away with that.
Got it.
It's going to be written off though, right? Local transportation.
Right. So, all right. So you're at home and you got to get to the airport. You call an Uber or you dial up an Uber or whatever, right? That's local transportation. Now, your airline ticket from Maryland to wherever you're going is travel. Now, you get off the airplane and you get through the terminal and pick up your bags and all that crap, right?
Yep.
And then you need to get to the hotel where you're staying at.
Yep.
And you dial up either an Uber or Lyft or taxi or car service or whatever, right? Again, local transportation.
Got it.
Arrive at the hotel, dine in, whatever, check in, throw your bags in the room, and then go back downstairs and park your butt in the restaurant and eat. That's entertainment.
Got it.
And what was that classification if I park my butt in the restaurant?
Meals and
Meals and
entertainment.
entertainment.
That's
So
only
basically,
50% right off, right?
Basically,
No, meals and entertainment is only 50%.
That's the problem. So I better be careful.
God forbid the IRS ever looks and they see meals and entertainment inside travel, they're going to comb through everything with a fine-tooth comb.
Is that why people get audited?
What's that?
Is that a common reason why people get audited?
No. People, all right, here's the thing. Between 1% and 3% of all taxpayers in the entire country get audited every year no matter what.
Oh, okay. It's just you're the unlucky winner.
Right. That is the random lottery. You just hit the lottery and not in a good way. All right. Now, the IRS computers have an algorithm and they are very secretive about their algorithm. Let's put it this way. They do not want to see a Manhattan mailing address with $30,000 a year in wages.
yeah.
Manhattan address, rents paid, unless you're way up in, I don't know, Washington Heights or something like that, your minimum rents are going to be between $3,000 and $5,000 a month. So right off the bat, it's anywhere from $36,000 to $60,000 a year just in rent. What about lights?
Right.
What about telephone? What about food? What about clothing? So you got a Manhattan zip code. You damn well better be showing somewhere between $80,000 and $100,000 in income.
Right.
Subject to the pluses and the minuses and all that stuff, right?
Right.
So what you want to do is you want to make sure that for what area of the country you're living in, that you're showing enough income. And you know what? Shit happens sometimes. People don't always make money.
Yeah.
But if there's a trail showing savings account withdrawals into your bank account, guess what?
Credit card expenses.
Right.
Right.
But I also, and Teresa, thank you for saying this earlier, but I am not a fan of increasing your income by using a credit card.
No, that's a very bad business plan.
That is a recipe for disaster.
Right.
Yes.
A lot of people don't know that. Can I change the subject really quick?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm creating a category expense called local transportation right now while you're talking.
Yep.
What is the detail type? I'm going to share my screen. So because
Okay.
the detail type I cannot change because it's supposed to be compliant to the tax category. So what should I do? Or should I even?
Well, hold on. All right. So it's local transportation is an expense,
Okay.
right?
Is it an other expense? I don't know.
Hold on. This is one of the reasons why I hate QuickBooks to begin with. Okay, hold on. You're scrolling a little bit too fast. All right, go all the way up to the top for a second. All right, so amateurs. No, yeah. And it does not allow me to. See, there's really no need for this, but if QuickBooks wants it, then I'm going to have to say.
Either an expense or an other expense.
Throw it to other expense for a second. Let's see what happens.
That's where you were.
No, you were in expenses. Go to other expenses.
All right, and the asterisk means it must be used, right?
Yep.
All right, so do me a favor, get out of the other expenses, go back to regular expenses. All right, and then keep going. Oh, you know what? I don't like that. Go back to I apologize, but go back to other expenses again.
And I saw parking and tolls in there too. I've been putting that in.
Good. Yeah.
Well, hold on. We'll get back to that in a minute. Other vehicle expenses is fine.
This doesn't matter, right? Because you're gonna pull this out and do your own thing anyway. So.
Right, but I at least need you to know, and that's and any cabs or Uber or whatever.
Ground transportation. Right?
Yep. Yep. That's good. All right, now going back, you had another.
Yeah, I noticed that there was a category under other expenses, I think, for parking and tolls.
Okay, meters, parking lots.
I've been putting all that in travel too.
No.
Shit.
Sorry. All right, so that Austin Airport.
That was food though.
Are you sure?
Well, look at the amount.
Okay, F. That's the F. So all right. So that's meals and entertainment.
There's no such thing as travel meals.
No.
Damn it.
Sorry. The only way there's such a thing as travel meals is if you're an over-the-road truck driver and your meals and entertainment is 80% as opposed to 100%. And the only reason you get that is because of DOT hours of service.
Yeah, right. Department of Transportation.
Right.
I think that $5.36 one is food too, isn't it?
Yeah. So
I know it seems like you're giving half of it away, but God forbid you get you hit the lottery. You want to cover your ass.
yeah, you just teaching us to be smart, basically, from the start. So I got this was a magazine from the airport. What is that?
That's entertainment.
Dues and publications.
Okay.
Or dues. Yep, perfect.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. I'm going to edit so I can put magazine.
Yep, perfect.
Okay, so that helps a little bit. Lucky thing, most of it's just repetitive stuff. There's teeny
What?
things here and there.
What's all right? I'm going to play devil's advocate. What is Intuit Payment Solutions? What
Oh,
is
it's
that?
for this, for QuickBooks. Oh, wait, no, hold on.
The two deposits.
Yeah, that's when we used to use, up until very recently, we used QuickBooks credit card processor.
Oh Jesus! How bad did they charge you guys?
3.4%.
Yeah. So
That's almost Amex rates.
Yep.
yeah. So when
Got
the
it.
payment comes in, it says Intuit Payment Solutions, but that's
Right.
and then I
Okay.
take that and split it out by vendor or
Okay.
client.
Got it. All right. 3790. What is that?
That's the fees from QuickBooks. That's the fees from using QuickBooks payment process.
That's the 3.4.
Bank charges.
Okay. Is that where square fees should go to?
Yep.
Okay. I'm making notes.
Okay, I'm going to, so this is from January.
Hence, this is why I say for certain things, QuickBooks is good. Because you have this ability to pull all those transactions out of the bank account without having to go in and out.
Yeah. Okay, I'll reclassify all this stuff.
All right. So, yeah. So basically anything that's in there, and that doesn't matter whether you're a sole proprietor or a corporation, it's still bank charges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
Okay, parking and tolls. So we need to do other expenses.
Parking and tolls and parking, it don't matter, whatever you want to call it.
But it needs to go to other expenses with a detail of.
Well, that's what I didn't understand, why QuickBooks was forcing a detail line.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid. They have things a certain way, which I think is really dumb.
All right, now, Charissa, before I forget, just want to let you know it is 1:58. You said something about a half an hour meeting or something, or a meeting in a half an hour?
Yeah, I have a meeting in 3 minutes with my coach. So.
Okay.
Okay, so bank charges, right?
Yep. Now, there are people that want credit card fees as a line item just because that's what they want to see. But for tax purposes, it's bank charges.
Oh, okay.
Because maybe they want to run a report every month to see what they're paying throughout the year for merchant services.
Yeah, I kind of do actually. So maybe I
Then you know what? If you want, you can add another expense line item called credit card processing. That's up to your preference. Processing fees. Or credit card processing fees. No, you actually have to add the account first.
Yeah.
Merchant services fees, there you go. And it shows up as QuickBook payments, really?
Yeah, but at least.
No, the first one, what happened to it?
In fact, it went back to,
Pretty fast.
okay, so it is merchant service fees. So Carissa, what do you think about if you do,
Keep talking.
January through August? All the recategorizing and
Yeah, I'll do the recategorizing because then I think you can just.
then I can, I mean, do you want to do it for the whole year, or do you want to just do January through August, and then I'll take care of September through, since that's not a rush?
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, September through December is kind of because
Oh,
of the
because
short
of the
year.
1099s, right?
What's that?
Because of the 1099.
No, it's because it's a short year.
Oh,
In other words, the normal deadline for a calendar year is 2.5 months.
oh. But a
Short year deadline is 45 days.
Oh, shit.
So I got basically 2 weeks.
Okay.
Do it. I'll get it done.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm not trying to put pressure on you guys. I'm just,
You're giving us a heads up.
yeah, and I don't want to, I don't want you to see you get hit with the penalty for late filing on your brand new corporation first year.
And
Yeah,
it
that
won't
would suck.
happen if we're not careful. So,
God, it's too bad you can't just say,
apply.
Change all.
Nope. It won't work.
yeah.
The only other thing you could do is delete that QuickBooks Payments account and move everything to merchant services. But I don't know if that's a feature for QuickBooks Online or not.
The only way to mass apply something is if you delete it from, remember earlier, if you delete it from the ledger, from the transaction register,
Right.
and then it'll go back to the very beginning where you have to, the enter into QuickBooks part.
Right.
Then you can classify all, but I'm like, screw that. I'm faster to do it this way.
No, I get it. All right, Teresa, I hate to say this, but you're 2 minutes late.
Nah, I know. Okay, done. It's done. Oh, I can batch action. Duh.
But look what the actions are, though. I don't know if that was one of the actions.
Yeah, never mind. Oh, categorize selected. There you go.
Okay.
That's it. Oh, look at that.
So you could have. Okay. Good to know.
Done.
Okay.
All right. So now also, yeah, but now you got to make sure that the QuickBooks payments are not the monthly fee either. Which I'm assuming the $18 is the monthly fee.
No, that's all the fees, because when it comes through as a
It has a different name. The payee name is different.
Are you sure?
yeah, it comes through. That's the one that you said. What is that? It's the Intuit Payment Solutions.
That, all right. Okay.
It comes through saying Intuit Payment Solutions.
Okay. All right. So that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. We good?
Good.
Okay.
Done.
All right. And again, I'm kind of glad I caught this now.
Yep. And I'm working on the letterhead and business cards for Susan, Rachel, and Megan.
All right. And that is a worst case scenario kind of situation.
But it's nice to have.
Right.
Yeah, let's just get it done. Let's just have it done.
Yeah. So you don't have to go scrambling for it and wait, hold on, and let me contact. No, it's.
And it's only people who live in Maryland that we need to worry about, right?
No, you got to do it with everybody.
Okay.
But specifically for Maryland is Maryland Department of Labor. What you don't want to do is the IRS. Hang on, let me find the envelope.
Okay, so I'll just do it for everybody, Carissa.
Okay, done.
And then from now on, when someone,
You guys don't want to be dealing with this specific division of the Internal Revenue Service?
right, right, right. No, we
Yeah,
don't.
that's $3 million a year in 1099s.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Guys, excuse me a second.
Okay, so we'll just do that. We'll do it for everybody, and then every new hire, tell them, have them do it and just send it to us.
That's a very good one too.
Hi, John, this is Lori.
I'll put it on YouTube.
Oh, hey, Lori, how you doing?
We'll let him go.
Okay, I gotta go too. I've got,
Yeah, I think I have a bad phone number for you.
John, we'll see you later.
All right.
Do you want to
Take care.
real quick?